Hi friends, welcome to my channel Go Cool and Be Cool Lead Auditor Training Program ISO 9001 2015 examination tips and tricks. We are going to see phase 2 of part 9. So what is the difference between phase 1 and phase 2? What is the latest trend? How the accreditation body is asking the question of MCQ, that is a multi-choice question, and then final examinations question and answer for 90 marks. So we have to prepare ourselves before going for the lead auditor examinations. Are you ready? Welcome back. Lead Auditor Training Program Examination Tips and Tricks ISO 9001 2015 Part 9. So we are going to see Phase 2. So what is the difference between Phase 1 and Phase 2? So let me explain about how the things supposed to be, the latest trending of how accreditation bodies changed their question pattern. So final examination we are going to discuss about 90 marks. So please prepare yourself before going for lead auditor examinations. Okay, let's explain one by one, like what is the difference between phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1, what it talks about, generally my dear friends, yearly the trending is questions will be there and we have to write out the answer what we have studied during the training program, during the notes what we have taken, our standards, our manual, all put together. So once we gathered all the information, so from these 5 days program of lead auditor, so we can write the answer. Yes, we know the answer. We know the question, so we also supposed to know the answer first of all, so then only we can write the examination. We don't have anything like which is predefined available, so we have to think about it, we have to write the examination. Now the trending is especially changed to MCQ. There is a multi-choice questions we have, so we have the question same, but we are also having the lot of answers. So some areas it is a 4 answers available, some area it is 7 answers available. Everywhere we have this answer is there, but we don't know what is right. So once you know that phase 1 what is the question and answer, once you know that your way of thought, like preparing for the question, writing the answer. But here we have answer is available, we can pick the answer, but we don't know what is the answer exactly. Once you have good knowledge of phase 1, then you can pick the answer of phase 2. So three answers will be the maybe inappropriate, maybe wrong answer. One answer will be the right answer. So let's see that how things supposed to be for this phase 2. So accreditation body is also changing, because see, nowadays the things are moving very faster. They have to pick the answer very faster, and then we don't have any time first of all. Also, will this kind of a MCQ will make you some kind of a confusion, like we don't know what answer exactly it's supposed to be. Yes, of course we have some confusions, but if you know the phase 1, so then it will be really helpful for the phase 2. If you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. So please start from the basic. My dear friends, my humble request is please start from the basic, because lot of my subscriber, my lovable subscriber, they are asking like what is that, what is this, what is that kind of information. So everything is given from the basic. So start from the basic, part 1, part 2, part 3, and then part 4. So you can start one by one, you will come to know a lot of information before writing the examination, because examination they will simply twist the question, they will ask you a lot of complications and everything. So once you come to part 9, then go for phase 1, understand how the thing's supposed to be, question and then answer. Then you come to phase 2, then you will pick the answer, what is the right answer especially. Okay, my dear friends, let's see that one by one. So before moving to the understanding of these questions and answer, every time, so we should know that what is PDCA. Okay, PDCA will really help us to locate the exactly ISO classes 9001 2015 where it's supposed to be. So first it starts from the organizational and its context, 4. So we have so then comes to leadership, so 5. Then planning is like planning is PDCA, so planning is P. And then support and operation is 7 and 8. So do function is performance and evaluation 9. And then checking is like movement, improvement is 10. Acting is, so we have a improvement, we have to act, we have to take the action. So that is what the thing's supposed to be. So PDCA, so planning, support operations, performance evaluations, and then improvement. So PD and then CA. So what is that we have learned that we are going to apply the same in the examination. So finally we have this customer satisfaction results of the QMS products and service. So this is what the things we're supposed to understand from this quality management systems, especially for this PDCA cycle. So let's go to the phase 2, like how the question type, especially for concept and then principles of management standards and systems. So 4 questions we can see here. Concept, audit concept and then audit responsibility, 4 question, and then planning the audit, conducting the audit, reporting and closing out of the audit. We have respectively the questions are there. Totally we have 24 questions are there. So we will see one by one what is that questions which is being asked by the IRCA, that is a CQI IRCA, and then what is the answers we have to pick the answer, my dear friends. I hope you understand, like we have to pick the answer. 24 questions we are going to see. So once you have time, so please take a note and pen. So please watch this video 100%, so then you will come to know what is the latest trending of accreditation body. They are changing each and everything. Are you ready? Okay, let's see that one by one. What is the questions we have? So this is how the screen looks like. So CQI IRCA, there is a leading quality since 1998. That's we don't know the actually. So assessment name. So we have some practice questions. Yes, we have taken some screenshots. So during the practice questions and everything, we have 5 sections. Well, section 1, section 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So here the time is going to start. So first question we can see here is, please match each of the following items as to the appropriate audit terms. Audit terms we have, so we have to match it. So here we have 5 answers is given. We have to pick and drop here simply. So audit evidence, audit finding, audit scope, audit criteria, audit conclusion. So what is the answer it's supposed to be? So audit evidence is management review reports, non-conformity, ISO 9000 scope is given, and then criteria, physical location of the auditee, and then audit conclusion is recommended for certification. So to complete the table, click on the blank section. So you want to complete. So it is highlighted in red, and then click on the applicable texts from the options below. Alternatively, drag and drop each option just to the appropriate blank section. So what I made it like, we have to provide the explanation, because lot of my videos based on the request from all subscriber, so they I have given explanation also why we need to do this answer, why we should not. So let me give you the explanations of what is the exact terms. Yes, of course, audit evidence is nothing but a management review report. So documents, records reviewed so during the audit, which falls under the class number of 9.3. Audit finding is non-conformity. So identified non-fulfillment of requirement. Example, missing management reviews. Audit scope, it's supposed to be physical locations of the auditor. So then boundaries of the audit, example, so production line A and in Chennai. So for example, I'm saying, so audit criteria is, yes, ISO 9001 standard against which compliance is assessed, and then audit conclusion is recommended for certification. So final judgment of systems evidence, effectiveness, example, system meets 9001 2015. So this is what the answer exactly. So audit evidence is management review reports, audit finding non-conformity, audit scope, what is the scope we have? Yes, the physical locations of the audited. Audit criteria is ISO 9001, and then audit conclusion is recommended for certification. So why this matters for automotive auditors? So I have taken some of the examples of that also, real world example. So finding a missing FMEA, like failure mode analysis in an automotive supplier audit, so would be like that we can say. So finding audit finding is non-conformity as against ISO 9001. So here is IATF 16949, so class number 8.3.3, 8.3.3.2 is also given. So because see, we have to match it, we have to make sure that the things how we are identifying, so those kind of areas. As audit evidence is missing FMEA document, audit scope we can say, this is how we can write it. So always link findings so to your specific classes during examination. Example, non-conformity against ISO 9001 2015, class number 9.3.2, no management review records, as we can say like this. So this is how we can write the examination. So some of the exams and answers also given. So let me explain you the next one by one. We'll see that. So how the exam supposed to be. So second questions would be, match the following type and method of audit to the description. So when the audit is conducted by the organization itself, when the audit is conducted on an organization says by their customer, when the audit is conducted on an organization by independent auditing organization for the certification of conformance, when the audit is conducted on and organizations with the quality management systems and information security management systems in one audit. So when the audit activities are performed at the locations of the auditee, so when the audit activities are performed at any places other than the locations of auditee, regardless of the distance. So now same, like we have to pick that. So combined audits, second party audit, on-site audit, third party audit, first party audit, and then remote audit. Okay, so we should know that what is mean by these kind of terms. Well, let's see the explanations as what it's supposed to be. Yes, of course. Yes, when the audit is conducted by the organization itself, it's first party audit. Most of the companies that they have, like the specializations of the system audit. So people will be as a comprehensive level, so they will prepare from the quality assurance, so they will go for the audit. In the stakeholders, they will compile all the information across the plant, so they will capture a lot of MC, MNC, OFI, and then they will report to the management. That is the first party audit, we can say here. When the audit is conducted on an organization by their customer, supplier audit, we can say here is second party audit. So first party audit, we can say example is here is like a Toyota plant auditing its own production line for IS 19001 complaints. Most of the companies they have special team available, so a couple of members or maybe 4 to 5 members is going for across the plant. They will ensure that it is compliances of ISO 9001 to ensure in line with the QMS system. What I mentioned here is like when the audit is conducted, so on an organization by their customers, second party audit. Second party audit is customer supplier. So we are going to our tier 1, tier 2 and ensure that in line with the QMS, because we are getting the parts from the tier 1, so we are sending to the distributor, isn't it? So example, B&W is auditing a brake pad supplier QMS before signing a contract. So when the audit is conducted of an organization by independent auditing organization for the certifications of the conformers, we are moving to the next level of third party audit. Third party audit means nothing but like TV Sud is conducting an audit to grant ISO 9001 certification. A green plant audit means they will go for gap analysis, stage 1, stage 2, then only they will issue the certificate, isn't it? So people will need to go for widening their scope. They have to come to your plant. They will audit in a third eye view. Okay, now moving to the next one is when the audit is conducted on an organization with the quality management systems and information security management system is one audit. So it's combined audit. So we can say here is answer is combined audit. So what is example of that? Auditing ISO 9001 QMS plus 27001 is also available. Yes, my dear friends, if you are new to my channel, so please watch each and everything, because Lead Auditor Training program is already given, which already crossed 35,000 views. I'm really thanks to all the subscriber and then their support also. We have 27,000 is also available. So information system security management system is also there. Please watch, the beautiful videos are there, so you will know that what is to be done for this data training program. 14,001 is also available for the environment management system. Yes, we have a lot of scope available. So in my channels, as because having rich experiences, I'm sharing all this information to all the people. So please ensure that you are taking a beautiful certification and then getting promotion, upgrading yourself to the next level also. Yes, we have a lot of scope, how to get promotion, how to make the resignation, so what is the story and what is the learnings, and so many kind of things are available. So please watch the video, so you will learn so many things, as then you can react accordingly. Now the question is like when the audit activities are performed at the location of the auditee is on-site audit. Generally we have on-site audit. Multi-site audit is also another concept we have. On-site audit is directly they are coming. Off-site audit is desktop audit they are doing. And then multi-site audit is multi-plant. If you have, so they will go for multi-audit is also available. So for example, 10 department we have, 5 department they will conduct in one area, and another 5 department will be done in another area. So that is a multi-site audit, we can say here is. So on-site audit, what it means, like example, visiting a factory floor to verify welding process control. Generally it will be done, so most of the time, because certification audit will be done most of the department, in 95% of the department will be conducted. Surveillance audit, yes, we have exemption of 50% will be conducted, because to see how things are running in line with the QMS. When the audit activities are performed at any place other than the locations of the auditee, regardless of the distance, in the sense remote audit, we can say here is what I said is desktop audit. So because Example, reviewing electronic documents and conducting interviews via terms for a software company. Simply we can do that. Here we have a soft file is available, so we can simply open the soft file and then we can show to the auditor, yes, we are doing like that, sir. We are doing that thing, the thing. So countermeasure is standard countermeasure. We can show what is the implementation. You see everything as a document only. We have to show that. They will simply ask you whether it is implemented or not. If you have a signed copy from your top management, you can show that is also one of the areas. Okay, my dear friends, moving towards to the third questions. So now here onwards, what I made it, I never put answer. Yes, we can give explanation what is right or wrong. Okay. So third question is, the owner of the small but very successful organization decided to implement 9001-2015 based on QMS. To ensure that the QMS was effectively implemented, the owner decided to apply the steps of the PDCA cycle. So, however, when reading the standard, he does not clearly understand how to apply the PDCA cycle. So, select the correct application of the PDCA cycles in the management system. Four answers given. Four answer. The full cycle applies only to class number 0.3.2 of the standards. So the whole cycle applies only to each subclasses of the standard. The whole cycle applies to each process required by the standard. The whole cycle applies only to the each class of the standard. Yes, started confusing. Oh my god. Now let's see that what is the answer. Yes, correct answer is the full cycle applies to each process required by the standards. Okay, that is the one of the correct answer, because what is the explanation? PDCA cycle is intended to be applied to all the process within the quality management systems as required by the 9009K. Let's simplify it. So not just to specific classes, subclasses or the single classes. To focus is on the process and not on text parts of the standards. So option C is right. See, what we can say here is, like, my dear friends, you have to pick the answer very very clearly. So you have to read the manual, the standards, then phase one, what is given the phase one. You will understand the basic 2 marks, 4 marks, then 5 marks, 10 marks, and then 15 marks also. Unless otherwise not understanding the clarity in everything, it's very difficult for you to write the examination, because the confusion will start. So here we have only 4 answers there, but in the upcoming session we have 7 and 8 is available. We have to pick the class number is also one of the big challenges we have. Okay, let's see the fourth answer, the fourth questions. See, which three of the following phrases would apply to the plan in relations to the PDCA cycles for the business process? So what is my plan? See, here is evaluating supplier, organizing changes, retaining documentation, identifying risk, setting objectives, and then release product. So what is plan? Oh my god, what is plan? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is given. See, anyhow, we are going for the examination. So 5 days we are studying. So suddenly we don't know exactly what is the answer supposed to be. So please understand, phase one, if you see that everything is given, 2 marks is very very clear. So here is now correct options. What we can pick here is 3. We have to pick it. Okay, plan, no. What is mean by plan? Plan is given. Identifying risk, yes, of course we can identify the risk. Part of the risk based thinking is planning. In planning, as per ISO 9001 6.1 classes, yes, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, all put together we can say here is setting objectives and then organizing changes. If you have a manual in right hand side, so for example, if you are writing the online examination, my dear friends, please, that also I have given you what exam is best exam for you, whether you can go for online examination or offline is very very challenging, my dear friends. Please understand, I have given the video like how to score marks in the part 6 or 7, I think so. You can just to go there and then you can read it. So what is the best idea? See, online examination we have a lot of facilities we have. So PC is there in front of you. Right side you can keep it your manual, left side you can keep it 9011 manual, in the most right side you can keep it your notes. So everything you can keep it in front of you. Okay, so you can get to know what all the things we're supposed to that. But during physical examination, physical offline examination, none of the manual will be allowed except this 9001 2015. ISO manual is allowed, but without writing anything. There is no note supposed to be there. So written documents nothing will be allowed inside the examination. So please understand, my dear friends, we have a complications inside going to the examination. You can take the manual, only manual, simple. You can take only the manual. So you should there should not be any marking of ink or something like that, because most of the accreditation body, they will not allowing generally inside the manual with some notes, everything. So only plain manual, plain standards. If nothing is written in the standards, so that you can take it inside. So very how it's very very difficult for you. So what my opinion is, please make sure that identifying online examination plus it is very easy for you. It is very make you to write the examination very simple manner. So three can we can pick here is identifying risk, here is, and then setting objectives, and then finally organizing changes. So what is the answers is given here. Why not others? Evaluating supplier falls under do category. Class number 8.4. So retaining documents, part of check is we have to retain the documents is checking. So class number 7.5. So release product, it belongs to do activities. As PDCA, it's do, class number 8.6. So key ISO 9001 classes linked to plan. So identifying risk, setting objectives, and then organizing changes. So risk management 6.1. Here we can say quality objectives, we can say here is change plan. This is how the standards look like. So exam tip in PDCA question, associate plan with risk identification, objective settings, resource changes, planning, as we can say here is. I hope now you will get the parameters of section 1. So what is the 4 answer? We have seen the 4 answer. Now we are moving towards to the 5th answer. 5th question. So section 2. What I have requested is section 2. So 4 questions we have. So we are going to see the first question of 5th question, like an auditor of the organization ABC perform an audit of an external provider XYZ. So which 3 of the following actions can represents the breach of confidentiality by the auditor after having identified finding a XYZ quality management system? See, you understand the questions now. So you have to pick the answer. The 3 of the following actions supposed to be there. So share the finding of ABC with the procurement manager of ABC, with the other auditor of ABC, with the other staffs of XYZ, with the auditors of XYZ, with the quality manager of A. Okay, so what will be the answer? So 3 we have to pick it. So 5 answers is given. So 3 we have to pick it. So let's see the explanations of what it's supposed to be. Correct answer exactly. Breaches of confidentiality. None of the auditors should not do these kind of things. 19,011 standards, it explains about everything. Auditor, what is the principle we are supposed to do that? See, shares the finding of ABC, so with the office or staff of the XYZ. Yes, XYZ we can share it. Unauthorized disclosure to the non-relevant personnel at the audit RV organization. Okay, so shares the findings of ABC with the auditors XYZ. So we can share the auditors also, we can share it because they have a representative available who is coordinating for conducting all those kind of audits and everything. So we can able to share that, yes, that is what happened, this is what happened. Generally what happened now, my dear friends, once the auditor of some other party, maybe we can take an example of TUV is coming for your organization and doing the audit, they will share the information to the particular department who is the coordinator for the ISO. They can share the information. So those who are coordinating for the entire as a plant, they can share because they can talk to the top management. We can show some of the evidence also, okay, to make sure that whether it is right or not. Okay, that is also now the important thing. Unless explicitly agreed in the audit contract, the finding should not be shared so with the auditees internal auditor. Most of the areas is because see people are simply making sure that, like, transferring of information to the next department. Yes, they are looking that area it's 5 MNs is available, this area is 10 MNs is available. So simply will go to the top management, they will fire like anything, because see externally people are coming to your area, they are identifying what is your job, you have why you have not identified it before. So that kind of question is also triggered, so from most of the areas. So third one we can pick here is shares the finding of ABC with other auditors of ABC. Only if the auditors are not part of the audit team and lack a legitimate need to know that. So shares the finding of ABC with the other auditors ABC. So why these are breaches? So 9001 class 7.1.4 environment for the audit and ISO 19011. Now what I said is 2018 class number 6.2.4 requires auditors to maintain confidentiality. That is a major of what we're supposed to do. That we have to maintain. Simply we cannot share the observation to all the people. We have constraints. We have the boundaries. We have to respect the boundaries. Findings should only be shared with the auditee's management representative. What I said is correct. Audit team management representative, those who are coordinating within the department of ISO 9000 1015 coordinator or the overall organization, because they are the coordinator. Example, XYZ the quality manager, the client authorized persons. Example, ABC procurement manager if contractually agreed. So that is what the things are supposed to be. So we have to pick three answers. So shares the finding ABC with the office staffs of XYZ, ABC with the auditor XYZ, ABC with the other auditors of ABC. Okay. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understand. Now we are moving towards the section 2, sixth question. What is the section 2 and sixth question, sir? So, oh my god, oh, so from the following audit elements, just select the three so that are the responsibility of the auditor. So invite participants as for the opening and then closing meeting. See, the question was asked here is, from the following audit elements, select the three that are responsibility of the auditor. I am the auditor, for example, so what are my responsibility? So three answer I have to pick it from there. So invite participants as for the opening meeting and closing meeting. Decide whether corrective actions has been effectively implemented. That's supposed to be like this. Record non-conformities. Yes, that also one of the important area. Finalize and send the audit plan. That is not my cup of tea. Ensure all the audit documentation is complete. Identify key auditees available so for each audit interview. Let's see the explanation. Yes, perfectly. A record non-conformity. See, when you are moving with the auditor, whatever the observation is done, we have to record it perfectly, because sometimes auditor will forget, sometimes we will also forget. So the thing is that nowadays it's very, very clear. We have a notepad and pen available, digitalized manner is available. Whenever we observe, we have a lot of databases here. So if auditor is going to the line one, so we can pick that line one digitalized formation. So we can take which process he is picking, what is abnormalities. So as a whole comprehensive level, we can take it up. So record non-conformity is one of the right answer. So mandatory per ISO 19011-2018. So class number 6.5.3, auditor must document evidence of non-conformities. Ensure all audit document is complete. Yes, of course, it is very, very mandatory. We have to complete all the documents and everything. So record per 19,017, class number 6.4.4, auditor verify documentation accuracy before closing the audit. So decide whether corrective actions has been effectively implemented. Yes, of course, that is one of the important area. Part of follow-up audits as per 19,011-2018, class number 6.6, auditor validate corrective action effectiveness. See, we cannot simply leave it now. If you are in the remote audit, so auditor will simply will talk to you, where is the evidence of corrective action which is implemented in the inline. So you have to provide the answer. Yes, you can show the countermeasure which is signed by their top management. That is the first evidence. Second evidence, is it applied or not? You have to show the physical trending of the problem, what is being observed in the line. Because before applications, what is the status? After the application, what is the status? If it is coming down, in the sense we have to show one more evidence is, yes, the auditor came to our area, whether we have sent some mail. So that is what the thing we're supposed to make them to believe as an auditor. See, why not others? Inviting participants for the opening meeting, closing meeting, that is not at all a cup of tea. That is our, we are sending anyhow mail to all the people to attend the meeting. Anyhow, we have to remind it, but that is not the, majorly we are talking about for the three areas. As invite participants for opening meeting and closing meeting. This is the client responsibility. Example, ABC management arrange logistics and everything. Finalize and send the audit plan. It is the initial one. That is the overall comprehensive team will take care, typically handled by the audit program manager or lead auditor, so not individual auditors. Identify key auditor for interviews. So the audit team leaders are assigned roles, not individual auditor. Identify key auditor for interviews. That is not also the cup of tea. So three areas we can write here is record non-conformities, ensure all audit documentation is complete, and decide whether corrective action has been effectively implemented. So three questions as we have answered. So sixth question we have completed, my dear friends. Now we are moving towards to the seventh question. Section 2, So seventh question, four question we have. So section two, what is that seventh question we have? Oh my God, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Eight answers are given. We have to pick it at least four. Yes. What factors should be considered so by the audit program manager when determining the size and composition so of the audit teams for the specific audit? So select four factors as that should be considered. So what factor is supposed to be what? Okay, let's see the explanations as what we can pick it, but what is all the answers given? Customer relations, the overall competences of the audit team needed to achieve audit objectives as considering audit scope and criteria. So type and the complexities of the process to be audited, the duration preferred so by the auditee, the audit scope and criteria, the cost of the audit, so then the seniority of the audit team leader, so number of employees of the audit team. See, we have to consider what is the audit program manager. So, when determining the size and composition of the audit team of the specific audit. So, let's see the explanations of what is supposed to be. Correct answer, what we can pick here, the overall competence of the audit team needed to achieve. So, audit scope, audit objectives as considering audit scopes and criteria. So, as per 19,011-2018, class number 5.4.2, competence must match audit complexity. So second one we can pick here is type and complexity of the processes to be audited. So ISO 9000, 9011, 19011, sorry, 19011 2018 class number 5.4.2, complex. So processes may require specialized auditor. The third one is audit scope and criteria, and the fourth one is cost of the audit. What is the cost? We need to pick it. Yes, most of the areas is it is cheaper, and some of the areas is we have a costly also because of considering the overall support from the accreditation body. Practical consideration, budget constraints may limit size, team size or duration also we can say here. Why not others? Customer relations not directly factors us in team composition. So duration preferred by auditors irrelevant. Duration is set by the scope, not auditor preference. Seniority of the audit team leader is not at all important. Competence matters us more than seniority. Yes, that's what. Everywhere we have a skill required. No, number of employees of the auditors is irrelevant to the team selection. So this is the four answer we can give for the question number 7. What is being asked for this especially. Now moving to the question 8 from the section 2 is which three of the following statement describe the purpose of conducting the ISO 9001 2015 stage 1 audit? What is the purpose? Stage 1 audit, what is the purpose? Determine if the organization fully conforms to ISO 19011 2018, then assist with the development of an audit plans with the logical sequence of the process to verify. So during this stage 2 audit, evaluate the organization readiness for the stage 2 audit. I think that is the right answer. I think so. Determine if the organization qualities manual contains the required content. Determine if the key documents requirements for the organization has been met. Yes, that is also right. So we have to pick how many. Yes, 3 we have to pick it. Section 2. Let's see the explanation. Here is the purpose of the conducting of an organization on ISO 9001-2015 stage 1 audit is primarily to evaluate the organization readiness for the stage 2 audit and to prepare for the stage 2 audit. So based on the option provided, the 3 corrective statements as we can pick here is assist with the development of an audit plan with the logical sequences of the process to verify during the stage 2 audit. Stage 1 helps in planning and stage 2 audit by identifying the key processes and areas to focus on. So then the next answer is evaluate the organization's readiness for the stage 2 audit. So this is the core objective of a stage 1, ensuring the organization is prepared so for the more details of stage 2 audit. So determine, third one is determine if the key documentation required for ISO 9001 2015 has been met. So have been met, like yes, it's supposed to be fulfill each and every area. We have to have a quality policy, quality manual, and then all the document. We have a five level, my dear friends: policy, and then document, records management, then check sheets, inspection documents, and then what are the procedures we have. So those are all the areas. Generally, they will look for the gap analysis first. Then the stage 1 will come. Stage 2 is also one of the preferable one. So incorrect option, what is the incorrect option? Determine if the organization fully conforms ISO 19011. It is not at all relevant. No, it is auditor profile. ISO 19011 is the guideline. So for auditing management systems is not a conformity requirement. So far ISO 9001 certification. So determine if the organization quality manual contains the required content. While documentation is reviewed, 9011-2015 does not explicitly require a quality manual. So this is not a primary purpose of the stage 1. Stage 1 will verify the quality manual, how it has been derived, how are the things supposed to be, what are all the things incorporated in the manual. That's what the main thing is supposed to be. So you understand, no, how the answer is supposed to be picking off these three, so from this area. Now moving towards to the ninth question from this section 3. It has also have a four questions will be asked here is, as a third party auditor, you must lead a stage 1 certification audit to an organization ABC that manufactures steel tubes of 10 to 17 centimeter diameter. So they have implemented a quality management system 9001, so for a whole plant. However, for marketing purposes, they want to certify the management systems for the manufacturers of tubes of only 10 to 25 diameter. So they have two production lines with the same infrastructure and can manufacture all tubes in both the line. So what is best we can pick it here? So what would be an acceptable path towards, that is a forward? So select only one. So do not accept to perform the audit. Scope of the certification cannot be narrower than the scope of the ABC management system. So accept to perform the audit, so only to the manufacturer, so of the tubes, so from 20-25 centimeters as a required ABC, or if ABC agrees labeling the tubes manufacturer, so within the scope of the management systems, so for with the words in 2001, ABC commits to extend the scope of certifications to the tubes in 12 months time. ABC commences dedicate one production lines so only for tubes is 10 to 20 centimeters. So that is what the things we supposed to pick it. So what is the right answer? What I have decided to here is accept to perform the audit if ABC commits to decide one production line only for the tubes 10 to 25 centimeter. What we have see here. So what is the explanation? What I am saying here is the organization ABC wants certification for the subset of its protections, tubes of 10 to 25 centimeter rather than the full scope of its QMS, which covers 10 to 70 centimeter. We have a multiple tubes available, so 10 to 25 is ready, so that's why we can go ahead for 20 to 25 only. Since both production line can manufacture all tube size, the scope must be clearly defined and controlled to ensure conformity with the ISO 9001. The only viable option is to decide one production line exclusively to the 10 to 25 centimeter tubes, so ensuring that the QMS scope align with the certification scope. So there is no any ambiguity about which processes products fall under certification. Other options are incorrect because do not accept if too restrictive. Partial certification is possible if properly managed. It's very, very difficult, my dear friends. If you are calling for a TV auditor, so please showcase the line. So we have exemption available, but it is not permanently. Audit only 10 to 25 centimeter without changes. Ignores that the QMS cover the broader scope, risking non-conformities. See, if you are demanding something, they will simply change the scope, will write it what you demand. Yes, simply that's all. We cannot bring as a whole company one ISO 9001 certificate. You have to mention the scope very, very clearly. Labeling with ISO 9000 is irrelevant. ISO 9000 is not a certification standard. Okay, so extending scope later, so does not resolve the current misalignment. So our key takeaways for a credible certification audit: the scope must be clearly defined and controlled. Everywhere we have a scope. Somewhere it is written. All the lines is considered. Somewhere we don't write all the lines and everything. We can simply write manufacturing, and then we are selling the components to the domestic market or export market. That is also possible. Yes, any line we can produce it, because see, multiple areas, once we see everything is being inspected during surveillance audit, they will pick any one of the line. For example, 10 lines you have, You are not mentioning the 10 lines in the your certificate. The scope is very very clear. I'm manufacturing the product, I'm selling to the market in domestic and export. So here the auditor is very clever. They will first go for surveillance audit 5 lines, next is surveillance audit another 5 lines, because they don't have any chance. They want to take it entire line to check whether you are in line with the QMS and complaints of ISO 9001-2015. I hope you understand. Now, let's move to the 10th questions of section 3. So, during the evening, so before the start of the second party audit of an external provider, so for your organization, you are asked to replace an audit team leader that had the health problem. You notice that the documentation so provided by the suppliers is that you challenge that your colleague was reviewing prior to the audit contains a red stamps on the first page, that is a draft version is not for use. Only exceptions for was the quality policy that has been signed by the general manager in September 11. So what would you deal with this? So choose the best actions so from the following options. So I hope you understand this one, so everywhere so many kind of observations is we can pick it here. But see my dear friends, what is the real time happening we cannot simply write here, because this is exam. Okay, it is reviewed by IRCA also before giving certification to you. Especially you have to write what is in line with the QMS. Okay, what is the answer? We have 5 answers is given. As a quality manager of your organization to postpone the audit by 1 week. So you will have the time to ask the approved documents. That is not at all possible. Include the issues so see in the checklists you will use when auditing the supplier quality manager. Try to contact the external provider quality manager who is already at home to clarify the issues. Decide that there is enough evidences to raise the non-conformity version 7.5.3 of IS 2015, so which you will which will present so during the opening meeting. Discuss the issue with the auditee so during the opening meeting. So these 5 answers we have. So what is best we can write here is, yes, we have to discuss the issues with the auditee during the opening meeting, because most of the areas they will forget. They have a new document, they have a changes in manpower, they have forgotten where they kept it. So many things is going to happen. But before making such a kind of statement, so we need to be very very clear enough to understand what is that we have to discuss with the auditors. Okay, so what is the explanation we can hear is like the situation involves unapproved, that is a draft versions is not for the use documentations and an outdated policy, that is a quality policy signed in 2011, so which raises the concerns about document control class number 7.5.3 of ISO 9001-2015. So what is the best answer we can take? Raise the issue professionally during the opening meeting to seek clarifications from the auditee. So this allows them to explain example whether the documents were inadvertently shared or is there is a valid reason. We need to ask, see, we have to provide some chance to the people, doers, stakeholders. We have to provide some chance. We cannot simply say that that is problem, this is problem. We can simply say we have to provide some chance. Okay, avoid premature conclusion. Examples as immediately issuing a non-conformity or a disruptive actions as example calling the quality manager at firm. That is not the all things. Please give opportunity, because see, we are all human beings now. We have to provide the opportunity, we have to ask the opportunity. So the same thing will be pumped for the next level also. We have to declare, yes sir, it is my mistake, in the sense we can declare the MNC, no problem. If that is not clear, if the person is changed, they have some document is available, unfortunately some wrong document is showing to you, in the sense you can consider during the your audit also. Postponing the audit is excessive unless further investigation reveals systematic document controls and everything. Why other options are not correct? Okay, so it is incorrect in the sense like postpone the audit, overreaction without first discussing the issues as with the auditing, include in the checklist, too passive it is. Okay, the issue needs immediate clarification, because quality policy we have to drive, quality manual, so those are all the main documents which supposed to be taken care during the our auditing and everything also. So we have to answer each and everything on spot itself. When if you are the auditor, you are going to the any department, please start the opening meeting, make a professional way of handling and each and everything. What are all the observations you have done it, go for discussing in the same in the closing meeting, because see, they are also human being. They should also know that what is abnormality for the improvement purpose. If you are not declaring, if you have a 10 to 15 points available but you are only sharing 10 points or 15 points, then you are going for only 2 to 3 MNC. If they are not accepting, again you are replacing the MNC. That is not the good case. Whatever the observation you are declaring in front of the management, please ensure that everything management knows what they suppose, because they are reporting to their top management. So everyone is connected. We have to help each other people. Okay, so then contact the quality manager at firms. So unprofessional and intrusive outside working hours. Rise the non-conformity immediately, premature without verifying the context during the audit. Okay, key takeaway is auditor should address observed issue transparently. What I said is right, so with the auditee first, ensuring fairness and then collaboration, so before escalating findings. Now class number 7.5.3 ISO 9001:2015 requires controlled documentation, including approval currency and then prevention of unintended use. I hope you understand. So now what we supposed to do that? So here is very very clear about, my dear friends, before taking any actions as in this section, please ensure that you have already read everything in your training itself, because wrong answer will never provide you mark. Here is okay, right answer will provide. Each section you have to score. Section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each section 50 percentage you have to score it. That is the criteria we have. So simply we can take wrong answer in at least couple of section will damage your entire comprehensive results. Okay, let's move to the question number 11. What is the answer we're supposed to give that for? Identify two activities which perform the first party audit, pertain the first party audit. So what is that we have? An organization is implementing a quality management systems and decide to quality their external providers, so they audited them. Certification body auditing on organizations for its conformances to ISO 9001. ABC organizations outsourced their internal audits and send their QMS managers to evaluate the auditing, so firm to verify if it meets their requirement. Okay, auditing firm hired to audit an organization different sites. An organization was audited so by their local authorities for its ability to comply with statutory requirements in relation to their office extension. And auditing firms was hired so by ABC organizations to audit a warehouse facilities that will supply the storage services to ABC. An organization audited the implementations of their management systems to verify effectiveness of the organization's QMS implementation. Oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 answer is given. So what we can put, two things we have to pick it here, two answers, so we have to pick it, especially two which pertain the first party audit. So FPA. So first party audit is generally we have like, taking the explanation. So two answer we can pick it here, my dear friends. The organization. Okay, an organization audited the implementations of their management systems to verify effectiveness of the organization QMS implementation. We can say here is, so this is a classic examples of the first party audit. So where an organization audits its own QMS to ensure compliance and effectiveness. That is generally is going to happen as in the name of internal audit, isn't it? Internal audit generally they will take care of all those kind of things as document verify, records verification, inspection verification, and then all manual policy, either it is in line with the QMS systems and everything. We have a skill matrix, calibration, so many kind of things as we can do that. What is the next answer we can pick here is I think ABC. Okay, sorry. Organizations has outsourced this, so their internal audits and sent their QMS manager to evaluate the auditing firm to verify if it will meet their requirement. Yes, this of course is going to happen. Even though audits are outsourced, the organization ABC is still initiating and then controlling the audit process for its own internal purposes, making it a first party audit activity. Why other options is incorrect? So we have to check that also. Okay, simply we cannot say, we cannot leave it to the next question. We have to know why it is wrong. An organization is implementing a QMS and decided to qualify so their external parties providers, so they audited them. So second party audit, customer auditing a supplier is the second party audit. They are talking about first party audit, isn't it? So we do ourselves. So certification body auditing an organizations is for its performances to 9001 is third party audit. I hope that same question we have seen in the question number 2. My dear friend, please understand. Generally, what happened? No, most of the auditor when they start designing the questions, so 24 questions we have to design it. First question may be relevant to the ninth question. Second question may be relevant to the 18th question. So like that, they will collage all those kind of things, because they also have questions, juggle all those kind of things. You should know the answer first of all, so then only it will be helpful. You can, yes, you can take the backtrack also, you can check what is the answer is given, so then you can come here as, for the examination. So 120 minutes is given. So I hope all the information which I have very very clearly given in the part 1 and part 2. If you have any doubts, so please watch part 1 and part 2. So please make sure that you are gaining all the knowledges before coming to the phase 2. So phase 2 is latest trend, how we need to answer. We have a lot of question, lot of confusions also there, so we have to pick the right answer. So auditing firm hired to audit an organization different sites, so could be second or third party, so depending on context, not first party. An organization was audited so by their local authority for statutory compliance, regulatory. Third party audits, not internal. Okay, and auditing firm was hired so by ABC so to audit a warehouse facility supplying storage services. So second party audit can consider a customer auditing a supplier. So this is how the answer is supposed to be. So we have to pick perfect answer, that is ABC only. Organization outsourced their internal audits and send their QMS manager to evaluate. So this is generally two things is going to happen. Okay, my dear friends, moving towards to the 12th question. So before that, we can take the key takeaway. So first party audits are internal audits conducted so by or on behalf of the organization itself to evaluate its own QMS. Outsourcing does not change the first party nature if the organization retains control. Most of the areas, as you can see, department level they have ISO coordinators available. As a whole comprehensive level, quality assurance team or maybe the quality team having a couple of persons is handling the QMS for the entire plant. Across the plant, they will do the audit. They will confirm that it is in line with the QMS or not. They will report to the management quarterly or maybe monthly in a frequent, in a regular manner. So they will ensure that the things are happening in a proper way. ISO 9000 2015 definition, 2001 9001, the first party audit, internal audit by the external interested parties, and then audited by the internal independent bodies, TUV bodies or maybe IRCA. IRCA is doing audit for the TUV. I hope you understand now. You understand now, because TUV is connecting audit for the suppliers, for the OEMs and also IRCA is doing the audit for the TUV. Because see, everywhere the calibration is generally happen, because how you are doing the audit, that I will evaluate. I hope you understand now. 9001 2015 definitions we can say here is same, like internal audit, external audit, external interested parties as we can say here is, and then finally we can go for third party audit. So now we will move to the question number 12 from section 3. So started big question, I think so. Oh my dear God. A certification body so based in Bangkok so must perform the second stage certification audits on the client that has the head office, okay, and the small old production plant in Bangkok, and the huge new second manufacturing plant in Hanoi. The audit team leader has already sent it so to the client and agreed on the audit plan. The plan consisted of the team of two auditors, and the first 1 day audit in Bangkok and then the 2 day audit in Hanoi. So on the first day of the audit in Bangkok, the client inform you that the laboratory in Hanoi has been closed due to the COVID-19. So outbreak among workers. So in the Hanoi plant, all functions could be audited as planned except the laboratories, facilities, and the personnel. That's all. And the audit team leader. So what would you do? So choose the best acceptable actions as what you could take. So what is that we can able to take it? So we have four answers given. Continue on to Hanoi on days as 2 and 3 as planned. So audit as much as you can, and then report the results to the certification bodies. So who will make the decisions to recommend certifications or not? That is generally is going to happen, because if you have a good relationship with the auditor, so there is some complications, yes, some problem, maybe strikes, maybe unaccepted areas as boundaries is closed, in the sense we can take this one, but continue on to honor as planned, audit as much as you can, so and then uphold your decisions to recommend or not clarifications or not certification until you can audit the laboratories facilities in Hanoi later. Then cancel the trip to Hanoi, so, and carry so on with the audit Bangkok one day on the day one. So with the intentions of limiting the audit to the head officer and then a small plant both in Bangkok. Cancel the audit and reprogram it when the Hanoi plant is fully operative. So this is how the thing's supposed to be. So what is the answer we can able to give for question number 12? Continue to Hanai as planned, so audit as much as you can, so, and then uphold your decision to the recommend or not or not certification until you can audit the laboratories facilities as audit later. So that is what generally is going to happen, because see, during planning time, because auditor have a lot of plan, so they will go to a lot of OEM, a lot of tier 1, tier 2, because their way of program and everything is different. Since everything is planned means we cannot give any alternations, we can request, yes, we can change within the swapping within the day, same auditor we can swap, something like that we can do that. But generally auditor will have, once they planned, in the sense once they book ticket and everything, unfortunate situation is 19% is not possible to change, but 1% is, of course, we have some valid reason, then we can able to change it. So 12th question answer is continue so on to Hanoi as planned, so audit as much as you can, so and then uphold your decision to the recommended for the certification until the laboratory facilities of the opened. So explanation why this is the best option. The laboratory closes is a temporary limitation, due to COVID-19, not a refusals of access. So the rest of the Hanoi plant, example production documentation and the other functions can still be audited, as isn't it? We have some possibilities are also there. Partial auditing is acceptable, but if critical areas are later verified, the audit team can proceed with the planned audit in Hanoi, so for all accessible function, defer the certification decision until the lab is audited. So examples as via a follow-up visit or the remote assessment. So this balances rigor, ensuring all requirement are checked, and then practically the avoiding full cancellation is also explanations we can say here is. Now why other options are incorrect? Continue and let the certification body decide. So the team leader must retain responsibility for recommendation, not delegate it prematurely, isn't it? Cancel Hanoi and limit to Bangkok. The Hanoi plant is significant part of the QMS scope. Excluding its entirely would invalidate the audit, because scope is given very very clearly, my dear friends. Please check your scope before going for the examination. What is the scope is given in the in this company organization, that will be audited especially. So cancel and reschedule. See, that is overreach for them. COVID-19 restrictions may persist and partial auditing with the follow-up, so in a standard approach. So key takeaway what we can take here is 19,011-2018 guidelines. So class number 4 5.4.2 emphasizes adapting audits to unforeseen circumstances while ensuring all critical areas are assessed. Best practices proceeds with the available evidence, document limitations, and plan follow-up for missing elements. Example lab audit, something like that we can say here is before finalizing the certification decision. Note, if the lab is critical to product conformity, because after the certifications only we can able to see, because most of the area lab is very very crucial. Okay, see, if the lab is critical to product conformity, example testing is the key process, in the sense certification cannot be granted until it is audited. However, if this options allows for the conditional recommendation pending completion, so also we can say here is, but most of the auditor will not agree, my dear friends, because if it is connected, if it is not connected means that is the decision you have to provide with the clear documentation. So then only they will accept whether we can go for auditing or not for the recommendation of certification, isn't it? Okay, now we are moving to the question number 13. Same in the section 4. What is that we can see here is like, you ask the production manager if there are any problems with the purchased forgings used in productions, and if so, whether these problems are associated with the batch numbers as you noticed in the goods involved dependent the department. So he confirms the problem, and that problems is with the forgings or the regular occurrences, including the findings of the batch numbers as you can give, you give him. So but the problem production departments has tried to rectify these issues as before the forgings are used in productions. The production process cannot be held up. Any forging that cannot be rectified so far the productions are returned to the stores. The production manager also inform you that the quality department are both aware of and satisfied with the process because the final product is satisfactory. So when asked about customer complaints, the production manager says he is aware of them, and that the final inspection activities have been increased to reduce problems. So this is how the question is supposed to be. So we have, see my dear friend, 6 questions are there. We have to see one by one. 3 answer we have to pick it. What 3 records would you seek to confirm whether management process are being effectively implemented? What 3 records would you seek to confirm whether management processes? So what is best we can take here? Here is we have records confirming the effective implementations of the actions as to address non-conformities, records evidencing methods as used for the calibrations for of the measuring equipment. So production records showing the batch numbers of the forging, records of the purchase order for the forging, records evidencing investigation into the customer complaints related to the forging, supplier approval records, records demonstrating the goods inward inspection competency, training records of the for the final inspections personnel in the production department. Oh my god, totally 8 answers is given. So what is that we have to pick it? So 3 we have to pick it here. Okay, now see the explanation here is the correct 3 records is to confirm whether management process are being effectively implemented in these scenarios, or records confirming the effective implementation of the actions to address non-conformities. Why? This is critical because the production manager mentioned that the problem with the forgings are regularly rectified before use. So these records would show whether non-conformities are properly addressed. NG handling methodology, we can say in other words also. Records, second one is record evidencing investigations as into customer complaint related to the forging. The production manager acknowledged the customer complaints, so records of the investigation would demonstrate whether root cause are identified and corrective actions are taken. So these one of the area like we can take it. So third one is the training records for the final inspection personnel in the production department. So since the final inspection activities were increased to reduce problem, training records would verify if the personnel are competent to perform these inspection effectively, because if he is also missing in the sense, directly it will reach to the customer, it will damage the entire branding of product. Then rationalize for excluding these option. Why? Production record showing batch number, see, while useful for traceability is also very important as good, but they don't directly confirm management process effectiveness. Records of purchase order, so these are transactional and does not address process implementation. Yes, we have records available, lot of records also we have available. Supplier approval records relevant for supplier control but not directly tied to the described issue. So calibration records important for equipment accuracy but not directly related to the forging issues of or customer complaint. So goods inward inspection competency record not mentioned in these scenarios as the concern. So this is how the things look like. Now again we are moving to the 14th question, is what it's supposed to be. Now you are carrying out an audit at an organization seeking certifications to the ISO 9001 for the first time. The organization offers regularity consultancy services to the manufacturers of cosmetics. So the business operates as for 10 regional offices. You are auditing the organization laboratories where trials are performed to determine the microbiological stability of the customer products over the life of the product. You are interviewing the laboratory supervisor. LS, you, I would like to review your calibration arrangements. What equipments do you calibrate? That is LS. What laboratory supervisor is saying that we calibrate two weight scales, so four temperature measuring probes, and one pH meter. So you, how often do you calibrate these? So LS is saying that the weight scales are calibrated once each day. The temperature measuring probes so are also calibrated once each day. The pH meter is set up using standard pH solutions as prior to use. Yes. So now you need to determine the extent to which ISO 9001 requirements are fulfilled. So with respect to the control of this equipment. So what type of things is what we can say? Which of the following statements is false? They are not asking the good one, they are asking the false one. Please understand, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 answers are given. So what is the false one we could see here is, so you could determine the action taken just should calibration results exceed defined tolerance, okay, or verify the selection of the appropriate calibration records for each of them, of each items of equipment. So you could determine so how other equipment is calibrated, confirm those responsible for calibrations are competent, determine the extent of traceabilities of measurement standards. So then you could confirm the document procedures for calibration is available and in use. You could determine how this is, that is a suitability of the equipment was confirmed. I hope you understand. So now what is false we supposed to bring it here. Here is very clear to determine which statement is false in the context of ISO 9001 requirements for controlling, monitoring, and measuring equipment. Let's analyze each options. So against the standard 9001 2015. So class numbers 1.1.5. So we will first go through that what is the correct or wrong. Okay, statement and their validity. So you could determine the action taken should calibration results exceed defined tolerance. True, because ISO 9001 require actions, example adjustment, recalibration, or revalidations of the prior results, which equipment is out of tolerance. So on point 1.5.1. You could verify the selection of appropriate calibration records for each item of the equipment. That is also true because auditor must review calibration records to confirm compliance with the planned intervals. So on point 1.5.2. You could determine how other equipment is calibrated. That is not our cup of tea, no. That is a false likely answer. So the scope here is the specific equipment mentioned. Scales, probes, and then a pH meter. Auditors are not required to check unrelated equipment unless it is impact product's conformity. You could confirm those responsible for calibrations are competent. Yes, that is also true. Competent of the person who's performing calibration. Mandate is 1.2. We have, unless otherwise they will take into this MNC. You could determine the extent of traceabilities of measurement standard. Yes, it is also true, my dear friends. Traceability to national international standard is required, so where it affects validity is 1.1.5.2. You could confirm a document and procedure for calibration is available and in use. So partially it is true. So while ISO 9001 allows a flexibility, calibration typically requires a documented process. So however, so this is less critical than the direct evidences, example records or actions. You could determine just how the suitability of the equipment was confirmed. It is true but redundant. So we can say redundant, we can say the scenario also implies a suitability as a daily calibration suggests criticality. So we can pick here is a false answer here. So false is option 3. Option 3, the question so focuses on this equipment scales, equipment scales, probes, pH meter auditors so need not investigate other equipment unless it directly impacts the product quality. The this oversteps the immediate audit scope. So final answer, the false statement is you could determine how other equipment is calibrated. That is a false answer. Key takeaway mainly we can take here is ISO 9001 audit prioritize evidence based checks, record actions, competence over speculative reviews of the unrelated process. Always align audit steps so with the defined scope and the critical equipments. Okay, my dear friends, now moving towards to the fifth questions. Oh my dear god, we have so many 12 answers are there. You are conducting an ISO 9001 audits of the material recycling facilities as MRF. The organization processes waste plastics as into the raw material of the plastic bottle manufacturers. As when auditing in the purchasing department, you found a contract to purchase plastic bottles as waste from the central waste center, so for recycling into useful product. So the purchase order required, so CWS, that is a central waste service, so to supply 100 bales so of used bottles per month. Okay, there was no technical specifications for the products, so you raised for a non-conformity says against class number 8.4.3 of ISO 9001. So now we have to pick three answers from this. Select the words that the best complete the sentence. See, the order to the purchase plastic bottle waste from CWS did not describe the required dash, the type, color, and size of dash material were not dash. To complete the sentence, so we have to pick these words. Yes, my dear friends, we have to pick it and then we have to start doing the completions and everything. Oh my god, it will here will start like whether it is shape or contaminated or contents written specified recorded material cleanliness mentions from and then plastic and then level. So many areas as we have, so pick and drop is also one of the problems, so we can pick it here. 12 options are there. So let's see that what is the answer we can give here is correct answer. In order to purchase plastic bottle waste from CWS did not describe the required material that is specified is, so the type, color, size and plastic dash material was not recorded. So this is what the answer we can pick here. One more time I will read it. The order to purchase the plastic bottle waste from CWS did not describe the required material. Material is not specified exactly, isn't it? Specified. Okay. The type, color, size, dash material. What is that? Plastic materials were not recorded. So there is no any evidence. So word selection justification. So why I pick specified? The non-conformity is about the lack of clear requirements in the purchase order. ISO 2015 8.4.3. So mandates that purchasing documents must specify so product characteristics, isn't it? Next one is plastic. Yes, of course, material plastics. The material being purchased, it's plastic bottle waste. So it is contextually accurate. So then third blank is recorded. This sentence explicitly states that describes details as type, color, sizes were not recorded. So these, why not others? Written, why need not to pick it? Implies us but less precise than recorded. So what matches the audit evidence? So raw is redundant as materials alone suffices. Content contaminated, so irrelevant to the missing specification. So the key is 9001 requirement is purchasing documents must specify and control externally provided products. Example, type, quality to avoid non-conformity. So final answer is specified plastic, and then you have to drop, you have to pick and then drop it to the exact location. Okay, my dear friends, now moving to the 16th questions of section 4. XYZ Corporation is an organization that employs 100 people. As the audit team leader says, you are conducting a certification audit at the stage 1. Okay, so when reviewing the quality management system documentation, so you find that the quality objectives has been set for the every employees in the organization except the top management. The quality manager explains that this has created a lot of resistance to the QMS, and the chief executive is asking questions about how much will it cost. So the he asks, so for your opinions on whether this is the correct method of setting objectives. So select two best options. So how the auditor should best respond to this question. Okay, so we have to select. So we have 2 4 6 here also 7 questions are there, 7 answers are available. Oh my god, we have to pick it. Oh, so the organization should always include top management in setting quality objectives. The auditor should advise the organizations to engage a quality consultant. The auditor should evaluate the processes for setting quality objectives. The auditor should refuse to be drawn into giving his opinion. The organization should revise its quality objectives as every year. The auditor should advise the organization to budget for its quality objective. The organization should re-evaluate its own processes for setting quality objectives. So what is the right answer we can pick it here is, correct answer is, two things we can pick here is, the organization should always include top management in setting quality objectives. So why? 9001 2015 6.2.1 records quality objectives is to be established at relevant functions and levels, including top management. So their exclusions is determines and determines leadership commitment. So it is class number 5.1.1 and it creates a resistance described. The auditor should evaluate the process for setting quality objectives. Why? The audit must assess whether the QMS process for redefining objectives 6.2 is effective. The current method is excluding top management clearly fails to meet 9001 requirements and has caused organizational issues. So why other options are incorrect? Engage a quality consultant. So not the auditor role to prescribe solutions. The organization must to own its QMS. Yes, because externally we cannot take it. For NABL accreditation you can take it, but since it is a very complications one, we can take it. But we have a people certified inside. They will evaluate whether it is exactly perfect towards to the perfect or not. That's all simple. Then refuse to give an opinion. Auditor should provide objective feedback on compliance ISO 1911 2018. So revise objectives yearly. So frequency is not the issues. Inclusion of top management is budget for objectives. Financial planning is secondary to the process for top management. Re-evaluate is one process. So this is what the answers we can provide. So key ISO 9001 classes is 5.1.1 leadership commitment, 6.2 is quality objective. Top management must ensure QMS objectives and aligned with strategic direction. 6.2 what it talks about must be established at all relevant levels and monitored. So final answer is include top management in settings objectives, evaluate the process for setting objectives. Now moving to the question number 17, section 4. You are carrying out a surveillance audit at an organization that has been certified to ISO 9001 for 2 years. The organization offers home security services. These scope of the quality management systems is cover alarm installation, alarm servicing, and then alarm monitoring and then response. So the business operates from the single office and employs a subcontract, so installers and service technicians across the country. You also observe the installations of an alarm systems at the customer party property and having switched off the electrical supply, so and completed preparations prior to installations. As you are told by the installation engineers that he has not been seen the correct parts for the job. So here we have to pick again same. So 1 2 3 4. So four answers there, four answers we have to pick it. One is fault means yes there is some point mark is available, we will lose everything simply. So what is that we can see here is you could gather audit evidence as outlined in the table. Okay, match each 9001 class number 8 extract listed. So here with the applicable. So what are the things they ask? Audit evidence. Another installation date is agreed and the customer is informed. So what is that will come? The customer property is restored to the secure and then acceptable condition. The installation engineer records the incidents with the insufficient details to enable corrective action. The customer complains to the installation expenses. So we can pick here is, so three areas as we can say here is 8.5.3, 8.2.1 and then 8.7.2. here is also same like shall include obtaining customer feedback, shall include providing information related to the products. So what is the right answer we can see here is, correct matching is another installation date is agreed and the customer is informed, in the sense 8.2.1 shall include providing information relating to the products. Okay, so and then the customer property is restored to the secure and acceptable condition. 8.5.3 shall exercise care so with property. The installation engineer records the incidences with sufficient details to enable corrective action is 8.7.2 shall retain documented information that describe the non-conformities. The customer complaints to the installation engineer. 8.2.1c shall include obtaining customer feedback. So this is how we can write the examination. So now detailed explanation. We need to know that no, why we have to select. See, rescheduling installation, customer informed. So this relates to 8.2.1a, customer communications requirements about product service including changes. Restoring property condition directly matches 8.5.3. So control of customer property requiring proper case of the customer assets. Third one we can see here is a recording incident details align with 8.7.2 records for documented non-conformities like missing parts. Customer complaint is 8.2.1c fits obtaining customer feedbacks as a part of customer communication. Why this is correct? What I'm saying is we should know what is right and what is wrong. The question specifically asks for the class number 8 extracts only, okay, not other classes. All selected extracts is properly, so match the operationals, because all are asked in the question number 8 only. It is coming under operations, isn't it? So we have to pick it exactly where it's supposed to be located. Each pairing addresses the specific types of the audit evidence to collected. See, common mistakes to avoid here is like don't use classes outside of the class number 8, like 9.1.2, 10.2.1 is also we can pick it, but they are asking only in 8. Okay, but we have an option. We cannot do by writing ourselves. We can simply pick and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop, simply, that's all. So ensure the wording of the extracts matches the evidence type. So note that 8.5.3 is the only property related classes in the options. Okay, this matching properly reflects how 9001 class number 8 records apply to this area. I hope you understand, my dear friend. Please go ahead multiple times. You please watch this video, because you will come to know what is that we supposed to do for during the examination. Because during examination we have panel available, we have notes available, we have everything is there. But the thing is that we should know the answer first of all. Answer once you come to know that, because unless otherwise the confusion will will vanish from your mindset only by doing multiple time practices. So please watch this video. So please watch phase 1 also, because we are making the answers especially for the phase 1. Yes, of course I understand, because most of my friends during the examination time, so they said it's very very complication, because we don't know what they, until finally we are submitting the answer, we don't know. We get some dilemma, we get some confusion, so many kind of areas. So practice many times, then you will get lot of things. Now moving to section 4, 18th question, we are moving towards 24 question, last question of this section especially. So 6 questions we have, so we are moving towards to the 18th question. An organization supplies component parts to the automotive repair section and mostly receives orders by telephone for immediate delivery. The paperwork usually follows days later. Select the words that best complete the sentences when determining the requirements for the products and services to be offered to the customer. If it is a responsibility of the organization to define dash and the statutory requirements of the customer. So B, before agreeing to the contract, the organization should dash of the requirements of the customers. Okay, the organization should document association with the orders. So what is that? We can pick it here. Oh my god, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, isn't it? 2 4 6 8 10 11 question, 11 answers given. So we should pick what is the right answer. Okay, my dear friends, let's see the explanations is what best we can able to do that. Completed sentence. When determining the requirements for the products and service to be offered to customers, it is the responsibility of the organization to determine, to define and determine. So define and determine the statutory requirements of the customer. Rationalize ISO 9001 2015. 8.2.2 requires organization to determine, identify and document all applicable statutory and the regulatory requirements. Please, my dear friends, please understand. You can open the first pages of ISO 9001 2015. What it describes the basic class. Each and every classes. Class number 8 operation, what it talks about. 8.1 what, 8.1.1 what, 8.1.2 what. So that kind of information you should have it in front of you. It will be really helpful for you, because immediately we can pick it, because time is running, my dear friends. Time is always running. You have to complete the examination within the given time, or auto submission will happen simply. You cannot able to pass the examination. So please ensure that perfectly you are planning your examination. Please watch part number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, phase 1. So then you can come to phase 2. It will be really helpful for you. I have given lot of tips and tricks what best you can write during the examination, because we have to pick it yearly. Phase 1 we have to write the examination, we have to think about it. We have a lot of complications in phase 1, but phase 2 we don't have a complication. We have a complication in our mindset only, because if we don't know the answer, we will simply fix in the dilemma. Okay, next is, before agreeing to the contract, the organization should review the requirements of the customers. Rationally, 8.2.3.2 mandate the review of customer requirements before commitment. Example, verifying feasibility, clarity, and then under conflict. Okay, the organization should retain documentation associated with customers' orders. So, rationalize on point 5.3.2 requires retention of the documented information. Example, order records for traceabilities and then evidence of the conformity. Why not other options? Understand. No, to wait. ISO 9001 uses determine, active process, and review formal assessment. Maintain, update implies ongoing changes, wherein retain focus on preservations of records. Amendment irrelevant. The scenario does not mention modifying requirements. So key ISO 9001 classes is 8.2.2 determine customers, then statutory requirement. 8.2.3.2 is review requirements before accepting orders. 7.5.3.2 retain documented information as evidence. Determine, review, and retain. Please see that, my dear friends. Please don't remember determine, review, and then retain, because question they will simply change it. They will change the sequence also. Please ensure that how it is adapting to the questions what is being asked here. Okay. Now moving to the section 5 of last section. Then first question is 19th question. It says the health. The trust has contracted so with serve it up the catering service organizations that has been certified to ISO 9001. So for 1 year it provides catering services to 10 small rural hospitals as in remote locations. You are conducting the first surveillance audits as to one site, so with the deputy catering managers at DCM. So at the closing meeting, so you take time to emphasize to the DCM that the action taken to address the non-conformities as raised need to be more than just a quick fix. So select the words as that best complete sentences. So action taken so as to deal the non-conformity should be so dash the non-conforming, so that it dash the issues. Okay, you have to pick it. See, most of the words what you can see here is maybe dull, because I have taken a screenshot to make sure that I am also writing the examination, and then I am also giving you a lot of tips for your examination. Okay, here is we can see the answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 answer is given. So we have to pick the answer what is really suitable for this. Only two answers we have to pick it. So what is that we can take here is first blank we can say appropriate for, second blank we can say here prevent recurrence of. Completed sentence, what is that? Action taken to deal with the non-conformity should be appropriate for the non-conformity, so that it prevents recurrence of the issue. Generally we have to talk about recurrence. So explanation appropriate for is the action must be suitable and proportional no to the nature impact of the non-conformities. Aligning so with the ISO 9001 requirements for corrective actions is to match the significant of the issues. This reject superficials, that is a quick fixes. So by implying a thorough root cause based approach, we can say yes. Prevent recurrence of, the ultimate goal of addressing non-conformities is to eliminate the root cause and ensure the issue does not happen again. ISO 9001 2015 classes 10.2 on non-conformities and corrective action. Okay, this requires directly addresses the auditor's emphasizes on suitable solution. Generally they will look for, as an auditor you should look for as a long term, how it is not repeating, the reproduction is not happening, the effectiveness is good. That is what the thing we're supposed to have it. Now why others options fail, we should also understand, my dear friends. Please make sure that you are reading this also. First blank alternative, targeted at or focus on, implies directions but not necessarily adequacy. and auctions can be targeted yet infections. Okay, so deals with, that is redundant, so the action is already defined as action taken to deal with the non-conformities. So other options as consequences for the properly analyzed, hopefully eliminated, or either grammatically incorrect or lack, there is a preventive intent also we can say here. Second blank alternative here is like deals with, hopefully eliminated, and then properly analyzed. So here we can say here is only addresses symptoms, not prevention. Deal, we have to dealing with that, or simply hopefully eliminated means not committal, and unverifiable. So properly analyzed means describes an immediate steps but not an outcome. Properly analyzed, properly analyzed means everything is supposed to be like that only. No, everything we have to analyze and then go for improvement. They're talking about only improvement. Prevent recurrence is one of the areas. So this answer aligns with the ISO 9001 core principles of continual improvement and risk based thinking. So now we are moving to the 20th questions of section 5. Only 4 questions remaining. You are conducting a stage 2 audit. um, you are conducting a stage 2 audit to ISO 9001 of an engineering organization, and you found that the 12 volt power supply, so for a product test, so has not been recalibrated since it was purchased 5 years before. The test procedure stated that the power supply should be standardized at 12 volt during the test, but the test report did not reflect this. You raised the following non-conformity against the class number of 7.1.5 of ISO 9001. The 12 volt power supply unit reference PS02 is not capable of producing the required constant voltage for conduct of the galvanic efficiency test. Okay, test report what is said is get RO 321. So for project DK confirmed that the voltage varied so between 10.5 to 12 volt. So which of the following options would provide so part of the acceptable corrective actions is to close out the non-conformity at the follow-up audit. So they are asking you the corrective action, what best you can give that. See, we have lot of answers available, my friends. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 answers given. Okay, see, if you are an auditor, and then you are planning for a long term, and then make sure that it is not repeating, and ensure that everything is in line with the QMS, ensure that everything in a proper way, even though the monitoring is not there, the things are happening in a proper way. So that the way of you have to pick the answer. See, we can see answer here is replace the power supply so with the standardized 12 volt battery, and then that is not the right case. Replace the power supply unit PS02 so with the newly calibrated unit, that is also not addressing the long term. Revise the test procedure to allow some drift in voltage during the test. Retest all anodes awaiting dispatch with the proper equipment. Assign a test operator to stand so by the power supply during so the test, and then reset the unit so if it starts to the drift. Calibrate, reduce the calibration interval, and maintain PS02, and to ensure that it is capable of supplying 12 volt constantly during. That is relevant, I think. So we have to calibrate it immediately. We have to see that reduce the frequency, my dear friends. So what is the best answer we can say here is calibrate, reduce calibrations interval, and maintain PS02 to ensure that it is capable of supplying 12 volt constantly during the test. Why this option? See, it talks about immediate fix. Calibration ensure the current units meet securement. That is no. Then prevents recurrence. What is that we can do? Reducing the calibration interval avoids that is a future lapse. Yes, they will simply forget it unless otherwise you have a good traceability system interconnected and digitally giving you the alert systems so that we can at least eliminate. That is not happening. Okay, so systematic improvement maintains ensure long term reliability. That is an important way. See, generally an auditor, they will look for a long term only. They generally look. See, now the situation is changing, my dear friends. See, if you are an auditor, if you are going for any abnormality, identify any abnormality, correction is not the latest trend. Corrective action is not also latest trend. What is the preventive action, predictive action? Now the entire world is moving towards to the big data and so many kind of areas as we are moving towards. We have a lot of data available. We have to pick the data, make sure that the traceabilities are perfectly happening. It is interconnected to the digital system, is giving you the alarm, and make sure that things are happening because competition competitions are in front of us. Competitor is also there. We have to sell our product, isn't it? We have to help our management to ensure that things are happening in a proper way. Why not the others? So we have to say that replacing with the new unit, only a temporary fix if calibration maintenance is not improved. So retesting anodes addresses impact but not the root cause. Other options either lower standards or rely on unreliable fixes. So this choice best fulfill ISO 9001 requirement for effective corrective actions. Now question number 21 from section 5. The audit team leader presents the audit outcomes or at the closing meeting attended by the management director and then the senior manager of the cleaning service organization. The agenda involves the reporting of the low number of the minor non-conformities in the QMS 9001. So it becomes clear to the audit team leaders and the team members as that the managing director becomes increasing agitated at the meeting progress, because most of the applications and then most of the non-conformity they don't agree generally. Okay friends, so before the audit team leader can present a summary of the audit results, the managing director interrupts the report and angrily claims that the whole process is flawed. Okay, and the company has wasted its time and trying to get certifications because of the report of the non-conformities in his organization. Choose the two options as you would take and audit team leaders as in response to the situation. What kind of things is we can take it, because generally this has happened. MD is not going to agree because see, MD and all is a very big picture profile, so they don't have a time to see each and everything, because they have their own next subordinates, like maybe near to the MD we have assistant MDs available, deputy MDs available. They have to take care all those kind of areas as having more abnormality, but still we are selling the product and then giving certificate. In the sense, no one will agree, my dear friends. Choose the two options as what you say. Pass the report and suggest that the break is taken to allow to separate meetings with the managing director. Advise the managing director that the certification can be recommended if the non-conformities can be dealt with before the auditors leave. So bring the meeting to the close and advise that it will be rescheduled to continue at the later date. Assure the managing director that minor non-conformity should not prevent certifications once they addressed. Request firmly that the managing director holds back his comments until the report is completed. What is best answer we can say here is, yes, we can say pass the report and suggest that the break is taken to allow a separate meetings with the managing director. Why? So this de-escalates tensions, isn't it? Allows so private discussions as to address concerns and demonstrate professionalism. It avoids public mainly the thing is that here we can see confrontations as while preserving the auditor's credibility. Assure the management director that the minor non-conformity should not prevent certifications as once they addressed it. So why this clarifies a key misunderstanding. Minor non-conformities are normal and fixable, and they reassure that the MD that certification is still actionable, achievable. So it aligns with the ISO 9001. Here is emphasis is on continual improvement. Why not others? Advise that certification can be recommended if non-conformities are dealt with before auditors leave. So this implies undue pressures for the rushed fixes. So compromising audit rigor. So corrective actions require a proper review, not immediate closure. Okay, because immediately we cannot close it, my dear friends. That is a fluke only. We cannot simply close it. There's a cooked up data. Generally, we can say here is bring the meeting to the close and then reschedule it. Avoid addressing MD concern directly, so with which could worsen the frustrations. As transparency and then timely communications are better. So request firmly that the MD hold back comments until the report is completed. To escalate conflicts, auditor should listen to stakeholders' concern, not suppress them. That is also another area. So here, key principle applied is professionalism. We have to maintain de-escalate tensions while upholding audit records. Transparency is very, very important. Clarify. So misconception, minor non-conformities is not equal to certification failure. Stakeholder engagement is also one of the main areas. Addresses concerns privately to rebuild trust. So these choices aligns with ISO 9001, focuses on effective communication. Class number 7.4, and then leadership engagement. So final answer is pass the report, suggest the break, private meeting, reassure the MD that minor conformities are addressable so in the certification. Yes, now moving towards to the last two questions before 22. ABC is the worldwide fast food organization, as one of the branches in downtown Cape Town. So decided to implement 9001 quality management systems, and you are the audit team leaders with the two other auditors. So that will carry out the certifications audit stage 2. ABC receives the audits by the phone and then internet. Some of the employees deliver the order food so to the indicated addresses. The normal menu includes 15 different types of the hamburgers. So, however, in the last 2 weeks, due to the shortage of the special type of the meats, they can only prepare as 6 of the 15 varieties. So during the internal meetings of the interview, that is audit team, so you ask one of the auditors to describe that she has observed. So she audited the receptions of the orders so from the customers via phone and internet, and the communications of the orders of to the kitchen. She noticed that the menu offering food so on the website is still normal one. So with 15 different hamburgers, and during the 30 minutes period, she observed many customers redundantly accepting something other than the hamburger they preferred. It's a very crucial time. I think what the thing we should say here is it discusses different options with the team. So match each options to the relevant classes of the standards. Options discussed by the team is ABC has not determined the risk associated with the shortage of meat. Yes, ABC has not identified the shortage of meat as a non-conformity to this QMS. ABC does not meet the claim for the products its offer. ABC did not take action summoned its website's content to reflect the menu changes. ABC did not monitor performance of the supplier of the meat. The employee that receives the order is not aware how to deal with the problems within the QMS. Yes, we have 6 options are there. We have to pick it and then answer. See, my dear friends, you can see trials. The name what we generally used to call as a trials. In phase one, you can see we have a 3 questions being asked, 15 marks. Each question 15 marks. Okay, my dear friends. See, if you are very clear, you are very confident, very super duper, and then you have studied a lot, you can simply take the class ISO 9001 classes. Then you can write the NC statement. What is the objective evidence? We can get it 15 marks, we can get it. But here the trial is given. They are asking us to take the simply ISO classes for this trial. So what is the best answer we can give here is ACC, that is ABC only, the typo error, sorry. ABC has not determined the risk associated with the shortage of the meat. 6.1 we can say here is why 6.1 addresses risk and opportunities. The organization failed to assess supply chain risk. Okay, so ABC has not identified the shortage of the meat as the conformity to its QMS. 10.2 we can say here is class number 10.2 covers non-conformity and then corrective action. The issue should have been logged and addressed. So ABC does not meet the claim for the products as to the on the menu. So 8.2.3 classes 8.2.3 relates to review of the requirements for products and services. Failing to update the menu misleads its customers. ABC did not take actions to amend its website content to reflect menu changes. Okay, 8.5.2 but not listed, but that is also correct. We can take it another also. So closest to match in option is 8.2.3. We can take it here is through 8.5.3 on the control of the production services provided. So it is better. It's updating operational information also we can take it here. ABC did not monitor the performance of the supplier of the meat. 8.4. So class number 8.4 governs control of the externally provided processes, products, supplier monitoring. It's critical here. The employee receiving order is not aware of how to deal with the problems within the QMS. 1.3. So class number 1.3 addresses awareness. Staff should be trained on handling deviation. So example is a menu shortage. We have to know that what is that to be done. Okay, key issues and then correction is class number 6.1 risk management. We can take it here is ABC should have anticipated meat shortage as a risk. Class number 8.2.3 customer communication. The outdated website violates transparency requirements. And then class number 10.2 is corrective action. The meat shortage should have triggered a non-conformity report. Why other matches are incorrect? So 1.4 communication is wrongly assigned. It is about internal communication, not supplier monitoring. 8.4 is correct for supplier issues but misaligned in the original tables to the website updates. Okay, what we have given is different. Okay, so final answer we can take here is like 6.1, 10.2, 8.2.3, 8.4, and then 7.3 being the most critical classes we can say here is. Now moving towards to the 23rd question, last before one from section 5. A small cleaning services organization is about to start work on the hospital cleaning contract so for the local health trust. So you as auditors, as you are conducting a stage 2 audit to ISO 9001 and review the contract with the service managers. The contract requires that the cleaning plan is planned. So you, how was the cleaning plan so far the contract developed? So service manager what is saying that we have a basic template that covers the material, labor requirements and the cleaning methods is to be employed. Some of that is especially specified so by the customer. So you, how does the plan deal with the locations is like the intensive care over wards and then other operating theaters, so which are included in the contractors. So service manager what he's saying is the basic plan covers as general wards, so but we will do more frequent cleaning in those areas as if the hospital request us. Are you aware of the regulatory requirements of for cleaning standards in hospital? No, we depend on the hospital look after the side of the things as in the contract we can say here is. So you decide to raise a non-conformity against section 8.2.2a1 of ISO 9001. So select the words as that best to complete the sentence. There is no evidence that the dash associated with the cleaning services for the intensive care wards and operation theaters have been fully dashed. The standards for the hospitals cleanliness have not been taken into account the cleaning process. So 12 answers we have. Okay, we have to provide the clear answer. There is no evidence that the requirements, there is no evidence that the requirements associated with the cleaning services for the intensive care, so words, so that are operating theater has been successfully considered regulatory standards for the hospitalization. So what is that? We have to pick it here. Here is the explanations of the word choices. So first blank requirements. The contract and the cleaning plan failed to address specific requirements, regulatory, customers or operationals or high risk areas like ICUs and operating theaters also we can say here is. Alternative rejection is methods or plans are too narrow. The issues is broader compliances. Operation is irrelevant we can say. Second blank we can take is considered. The organization did not consider, evaluates, analyze, or incorporate critical requirements. Alternative is rejected. Then documented is incorrect. So we can say here is a lack of documentation. So the symptoms is not the root cause. So realized or noted. So or too passive. So the failure is in inactive evaluations. Third blank is regulatory. So the missing the standards are regulatory. So examples as health safety laws are not just internal or customer driven. So alternative rejected is healthcare is redundant. And then we can take a context is already hospital cleaning. So then rigorous is subjective. So the issue is complaints not intensify we can say here is. So finally, why this aligns with ISO 9001 2015 class number 8.2.2 product service requirement here is the class requires organizations to ensure all requirements including regulatory and then customer needs are understood and fulfilled. So here the cleaning plan ignored so regulatory standards as example infections control laws, so specific customer needs example ICU, so operating theaters protocols and etc. Key takeaway for auditors: non-conformity should pinpoint specific failure to address requirements, not just procedural gaps. Okay, so use precise terms like requirements and regulatory to reflect compliance breaches, etc. So final answer we can say here is requirements, consider regulatory. My dear friends, last question of this beautiful lead auditor examination. So 9001 2015 examinations for section 5 is 24th question. Okay, this is the question. So see, an internal auditor of the manufacturer of the polished rain packaging products for the electronics industries is raised a non-conformity against section number 10.3 of ISO 9001 2015 in report of IA 202. The non-conformity MC3 stated the reject rate of the finished product is 9.7%, needs improvement as it does not meet the stated objectives of top management of 5%. As the third party auditor who comes across the non-conformity, so during a review of the internal audit process, how would you react? So choose one of the following options. You could determine what corrective actions was taken and what it was effective. You could try to find out if the reject rate has reduced in the meantime. You could raise the non-conformity on the basis of the poorly written internal audit report. You could investigate whether the reject rate featured in the management review. So you could agree that there is a room for improvement in the reject rate. So you could ask the quality manager for more details about the reject rate, including and try over time. So that is what the six answers we have. So what is right here is you could determine what corrective action was taken and whether it is effective. So why this option? Aligned with ISO 9001 class number 10.3 continual improvement, the internal audit identified a gap. Reject rate supposed to be higher than the target, but the critical next step is verifying if the corrective action. So 10.2 was taken and effective. Role of the third party auditor is your job is to assess QMS effectiveness, not just note problems. So this means reviewing whether root causes were addressed. So example, process controls rising, training, and then evidence of improvement and everything. Prioritize systems resolution. So we can say here is a simply agreeing. So there is room for improvement. So option 5 for checking trends. Option 6 does not address whether the QMS is functioning to correct and prevent issues or not. So finally we can say why not the other options is we should not pick it here. Check the reject rate reduced to option 2. So incomplete, the reduction could not be temporary. No, could be temporary. Sorry, the reduction could be temporary without sustained corrective actions. No one will take it. Rise the NCR. So far the poorly written report. The report is valid. It cites a clear QMS failure, but nitpicking form over substances undermines its audit purposes. So investigate management review inclusions. Option 4 we can say is secondary, even if discussed. So the key is whether the actions were taken or not. Ask for the trend details. Examples like useful content but does not evaluate QMS ability to resolve the issues. So here is class number 10.2 9.1.3 corrective action, analyze and evidence. Analyze and evaluation we can say here is verify if actions eliminated the root cause, access if data reject data get triggered, improvements will still have. So I hope everything is complete, my dear friends. 24, it's very complex thing here is we have to answerable, we have to pick the answer very beautifully, very successfully we have to pick it. Advance congratulations to all of you for achieving this beautiful certification. Yes, make sure that you are winning in the competition, you are rising your bar, make sure that you are getting a lot of promotion upgradations to the next level. You can see a lot of videos in this scenarios. You will feel very much comfortable. Your perseverance and dedications have truly led this incredible success. So finally, let's learn and level up ourselves, and let us help and support others. So without pain there is no gain. I hope you like this video. So please give your valuable comments so that I can also level up myself, and share to your beloved ones. So thank you very much and thanks for watching.